I'm on track to make over $100,000 this month at 19, and I started off with something called appointment setting. Now the cool thing is, I did not start with any experience, any business, and honestly speaking, I was working a funfair job when I started. I run a coaching company and I've helped over 75 people make anywhere from 3 to 10K per month with the same skill set I'm about to teach you. And in this free training, you are going to learn how guys like Teddy went from failing at reselling to making over $12,000 in less than 4 months. Or how Josh quit his job in less than 90 days using the same exact frameworks our clients use to generate over $1 million per month. Or how Seb, right behind me, went from $0 to $8,000 per month with setting and is now essentially traveling the world. Without further ado, let's dive in. I'm going to change your life. My team and I have spent the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks building out this full appointment setting training for you guys. It is currently 6 in the morning. The last thing I want to do is be recording this, but sauce must be dropped. You guys need to make some money. So here it is. This is going to be the best full training, by the way, you've ever watched. If you go and you spend thousands of dollars on any course or anybody else or whatever it is you want to buy, it will not match the quality of information and the quality of setting you will find in this full training. Now what we're going to talk about is what actually is appointment setting. If I were to break this down in the most simple way possible for you, appointment setting is the process of booking in sales calls for an online coach or coaching program, coaching company, mentorship, whatever it is, whoever it is you're working with. The most simple example I can give you is if I'm a fitness coach. I'm not in good enough shape to be a fitness coach, but if I'm a fitness coach and you are my setter, you are booking in sales calls for people that want to get in shape. I'm taking the sales call, for example, and I'm closing them. You are booking in people that are interested in whatever it is I am selling. So we can look at this as a funnel. And this is kind of what I'm going to refer to first, and then I'm also going to refer to this. There are 4 stages through this process. There's the setter, the closer, the sale, and the fulfillment. Or if you want to refer to it as a funnel, the top of funnel, the middle of funnel, and the bottom of funnel. Simply put, the setter is the first touch point in this whole process. You book them in for a sales call. Then they get on a call with the closer, the sales call you booked in. They actually buy the program, or they don't, for whatever reason. But let's say they do buy. Now it is the actual sale, which we just saw. And then the fulfillment, which is essentially them getting what they paid for. All right, does that make sense? Beautiful. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. No need to complicate it this much, but you kind of see what I mean. This is the top, the first touch point. Matter of fact, let's talk about how much an average setter makes real quick. So average commissions, you're looking at like 5%. Base pay is anywhere from $300 to $1,000 per month as well. That is monthly. And let's also quickly talk about money. So the average commissions is like 5%. The base pay is anywhere from $300 to $1,000 per month, give or take. It obviously depends on the offer and whoever you're working with and whatnot. And I'm also going to quickly say, I monopolize this industry. I own the largest coaching company for setting. Base pay was never a thing. It was like commissions, yeah, you'd get 3 to 5%, whatever it is. Now it's like set 5. It has been, to be fair. But base pay was never a thing until we came in. We own the number 1 setting coaching company in the game. We also own and run the number 1 setting management and recruitment agency. Base pay wasn't a thing until we came in. Just to flex. But how much can you earn? Let's talk about Goated real quick. One of my students, Teddy, got to about 20K per month with setting management. He started with setting, got to like 6K per month, then pivoted, transitioned into management, obviously made more money because it was higher leverage and it was easier to essentially make more money with it. Jodian got to 3.6K in less than 30 days. I believe it was his 2nd month setting. Sebastian got to about 7K per month within 4 months, give or take. And Clay got to about 11.3K. That was 2 months combined, so he was averaging about 5 to 6K per month. That was within his first few months as well. We have many, many other case studies you can go and check out on the channel as well. A lot of the people I work with, I tend to have a very good relationship with. I'd even consider them my boys. They're doing really well. I'm also going to see them in London in December. But that's kind of the good results you see. More so average would be month 1, you're making anywhere from 0 to 500. You're learning the skill set and whatnot. Month 2, you're making like 1 to 2K. Month 3, 2 to 4K. Month 4, 4K plus. Anything besides this is honestly just underperforming. This is a very respectable, very realistic average. So we kind of talked about how much you can earn. We talked about what setting is. We talked about the funnel structure. Now let's talk about this. So setting rules and principles you should probably know. Good things to know before we actually talk about how to set is these are good things. Matching the lead's energy, sounding like them, is essentially, if you will, energy synergy. If I'm talking to you and I'm giving you energy, and you're talking like this the whole time, I'm not going to want to talk to you because there's a lack of match of energy. Whereas if I'm talking like this all the time and you're super excited, we're both talking like this, we're going to have a good conversation because you will subconsciously appreciate the energy I give you through my voice. But I'm not a communication expert. I'm not Vin Guang. I'm not here to say that. I'm saying match a lead's energy. If they're excited, you should be excited. If they're kind of droopy, maybe try pull them up. But have that synergy. Have that synergy because that will help the conversation ultimately progress so you can get closer to developing that connection and also booking them in for a sales call. Number 2, knowing your offer. Brother, how are you going to sell something if you don't know anything about the offer owner, the person you are essentially mimicking in the messages, or if you don't know what they're selling? It's just idiotic. Number 3, understanding the ins and outs, understanding the process of what it looks like for you to book them in, the sales call, the actual fulfillment side of things. You should just be knowledgeable generally. Number 4, sounding natural and real, right? The tonality of, hey, how are you? If I talk to you like this, you're going to be like, yo, this guy sounds fake. Yes, setting his DMs. There's also dialing, as you know. But let's say you are in the DMs and you're texting me and I can feel that you're forcing it and you're putting it on. It's not going to work. You need to learn tonality for your offer. You need to sound like the person you are mimicking. So sounding natural, sounding real, and that will literally just come through repetitions. It's like any sport. Not that I do much sport, but it's like any sport. Speech elite is another thing. So to kind of talk about that real quick, 78% of leads buy from the company that responds to their query first. That is a statistic we pulled off of Google. I don't know how we found it, but we pulled it off of Google. This is corporate companies, by the way. This is corporate companies. 78% of leads will buy from the person that replies to them fastest. And then to go back, because I actually missed this, understanding the ins and outs. If you do not know the offer, you cannot address a lead's pain, problems, whatever it might be. How are you going to talk to someone about the biggest problem they have and how they might potentially be able to solve it if you don't know anything about the offer? The most easy example, if you never studied fitness, and I'm asking you how to get in shape, you're like, yeah, bro, you'll get there. You're going to sound like an idiot. You're going to sound like an idiot. So you actually do need to understand, have a general competence of the offer. And what that could mean is when you do join the program or you start working with the team, go and study the material. Go and study their YouTube videos. Go and study their group calls, their paid one-on-ones, whatever it is that you can get your hands on from the offer owner, the coaching company, whatever it is, whoever it is you're working with, different teams, different structures. Go and study that. Become competent on the actual solution, the problem, the offer, everything. Even if you have to talk to GPT to educate yourself, do it, man. Come from a position of authority. If you have no respect, you will not book in a call. And this actually is a very good example. One of my buddies is doing about 30 to 40K per month with closing management. He runs sales teams for specifically closers, and he was a sales coach for quite a while too. He's really, really, really good at it. As you can imagine, he's making 30, 40K per month from it. He essentially said, when you are talking to a lead or a prospect or someone who needs help, they need to see you as the older brother. If I told you, hey, bro, your breath stinks, but here's a gum, you're going to say, I love you, bro. I appreciate you for calling me out. Because you're coming with a problem and a solution, and you just respect me because I'm saying it out of a place of love. If I say, yo, bro, your breath stinks, get out of here, scumbag, you'll be like, yo, screw you, I hate you. If you do not carry that respect or that authority or frame, if you will, you're not going to book in calls. Come from a place of authority, come from a place of respect. Have them respect you, and you will learn that as you go as well. That's a general thing, rule or principle, whatever you want to call it, you should know. Now, bad, yeah, let's go negative Nancy, glass half empty type B. Being dry or overwhelming. And this kind of refers back to synergy. If you're talking to a girl, or let's say you are a girl watching this, if you're talking to a dude and you're sending a paragraph, they're sending one word reply, you are not going to want to talk to that person. It'll probably make you feel bad as well. And we've all had it. You don't want to talk to someone who speaks that dryly or overwhelming. You send 1 or 2 sentences and they send you 3 paragraphs. Like, bro, I'm not reading all. Being dry or overwhelming is not going to do you any good. Trying to sell in the DMs. Number 2, your job is to book in the call. Leave the actual selling to the closers. The funny thing is, we've recorded a full training that we have on YouTube before. It's at about 14,000 views right now. I still see this to this day. And I'm quoting the same thing we put in that full training. Do not be trying to close people, bro. It's just so cooked. Number 3, using emojis and exclamation marks. It kind of just makes you sound robotic. I don't know how old you are if you're watching this, but I talk about sounding natural and real. I guarantee you, the only person properly sending you those thumbs up is your dad. And when he sends it to you, you ask if it's sarcastic and if he actually really loves you or whatever it might be. Using emojis and exclamation marks aren't going to do you any good. Number 4, overcomplicating messages. I would just keep it simple. And a good reference for that is pretend the person you're talking to is 12 years old. If I'm sat here and I'm talking to you about frequency and the law of attraction and dopamine receptors and all these things, maybe you're watching it, you're like, oh yeah, I love that stuff. Or you're saying, yo, what are you talking about? Don't overcomplicate. Match the person you're speaking to. If you're speaking to someone more competent, you can speak more competent. If you're speaking to someone who's like more surface level, they don't really know all that stuff, keep it surface level. Generally, rule of thumb, pretend that individual you're speaking to is 12. It will make your life so much easier. Number 4, or I should say 5, keep in mind it's 6 a.m., selling people the product. People aren't buying a product, they are buying a transformation or the transformation. Think about anyone you know who's been out of shape, who got a personal trainer, or they paid for an online course or a program or a mentorship. They don't do it because they want to know what they should eat on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Hyper specific, slightly autistic, I know. But they do it because they want to feel the effect of the outcome. They want to feel how they want to feel. They want to feel the transformation. They want to feel like they're on the other side. You want to sell the transformation. You don't want to sell, oh yeah, but you'll get access to me for 3 months. And, after this, then you can actually buy the upsell and get continuous training and accountability from me. No, I don't care about you calling me every week to make sure I'm good. I care about getting jacked or getting in better health. Put emphasis on that. And finally, not qualifying leads pre-call. Don't waste your team's time, bro. See, what I tend to see, because we run many clients, like I said, we run the largest setting management agency in the game right now. We have, and ever, actually, because we're good at what we do. We have many clients doing multiple 6 figures per month, hundreds of thousands of dollars per month for their teams, coaching companies. What we like to see is pre-qualification and making sure that the people getting on the calls actually have money. Because if I book somebody in for my closer and he gets on the call and this dude has no money, just like the other 10 dudes I booked in, he's going to start getting annoyed at me. He's not going to take the calls as serious. He's going to start to resent me in the back of his head. And all of a sudden, I'm getting fired because the closer's talking bad about me. The calls he takes, he doesn't even fully believe it. Like, think about it. Sales is probably mostly mental, right? So if you don't believe in a product, you're not going to be able to sell it. That's why, first of all, you should also vet the teams you work with and make sure you actually like them, they like you, and they're good at what they do. But also, if I have a bad feeling about a call because I don't like the sales rep or the setter who booked it in, because everything he books in is bad, I will naturally pre-frame in my mind that this call I'm about to take is going to suck. And the call I'm about to take will suck because I will make it suck because I'm used to them sucking. No homo. So qualify the leads prior. Don't waste your team's time. Just be respectful, gang. Okay, fine. How to set appointments. I'm going to give you a general framework that I think you guys should kind of apply to. First of all, you're probably thinking, yo, Val, you're so fine, right? No, wrong. Let's get back on track. Let's talk about the actual setting. Let's talk about frameworks first, okay? So I'm going to break down 2 things. Maybe even more. No, I'm going to break down 2 things. BizOp and fitness. BizOp is short and slang for business opportunities, just like calc is short and slang for calculator. Fire, I know. No, BizOp is basically business opportunities. So opportunities for you to start a business and make money online. Like Airbnb arbitrage, when you essentially rent out an Airbnb and then you get a profit share, like short-term rentals, basically. Probably, right? Cool. TikTok Shop is another thing where you essentially make short-form content and then people watch it, they'll buy a product, they'll get a referral fee or an affiliate fee, whatever. Or Amazon FBA, for example, where you sell things on Amazon and make money. Wow, business opportunities. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is the business opportunity examples I just gave you. Now let's talk about the 2 different types of setting there actually is. There is outbound and there is inbound. Inbound is essentially someone who reached out to you, meaning that they already have interest in buying, they've seen your content for a while, maybe they're just ready to go, maybe they have some questions, whatever it is. This is pretty easy. You can refer to them as a laydown, meaning that they're like so easy to just get because they already are interested. So you're just gonna kind of make the process easier. You don't want to sit there and ask them 30 different questions. That's what way too many setters do, and that's how they'll lose a lot of deals too. We talked about speed to lead earlier. I think it was 78% of companies, people buy from the company that replies fastest. Big thing with inbound leads, that just to clarify, people that message you, you're not doing outreach, you're not reaching out to people, is speed to lead. So a general introduction I suggest you follow is, hey name, I appreciate you reaching out. Nice, man. So are you looking to start TikTok Shop or niche or whatever it is? Niche is also just like these sub businesses like we talked about. So Amazon FBA, TikTok Shop, Airbnb, whatever it is. Nice, man. So are you looking to start X or are you already doing it? First of all, split up this message, by the way. Don't be lazy and just copy and paste. Matter of fact, this whole framework I'm going to show you, don't just copy and paste the whole thing because it will have to essentially go back to the tonality of your client. So if it sounds like your client, same tonality, maybe you watch his YouTube videos or sales calls or whatever it is, and it sounds like him, it'll make your life easier. If he doesn't talk like this and you talk like this, bro, it's not going to work as effective on a high scale. If you're actually trying to be good at what you do, it's not going to work as effective. So hey man, or hey name, appreciate you reaching out. Nice man. So are you looking to start X or are you already doing it? Very simple. You're basically just qualifying if they're brand new or if they have already done it, because then you know how to kind of take the conversation. That's inbound. That's how you approach those. Outbound is if I'm messaging you, as in if you're a follower on my Instagram, or you are watching my story views, you're a new follower like I just talked about, or you commented on one of my posts, I could outbound to you, right? So I could say, hey name, appreciate the follow. Hey, just saw you commented on my post. Hey name, saw you engaging my story, appreciate it. Are you already doing X or are you looking to start? Or for example, you here to scale your X biz or learning how to get started or learn how to get started. Same thing. I'm essentially, to an extent, qualifying you. Or more so, I guess you could refer to it as an intro, but it is sort of a qualification. This whole thing is this someone who might buy? Or is this someone who might benefit? Is more so the mentality you should have with these conversations. The way I want you to think about setting is you are having a unique conversation with everybody, as many people as possible, to help them get through that trust barrier, get closer to trusting you, so they will essentially be more interested in buying from you. You account for the trust through rapport and all these things we're going to talk about. And rapport is essentially small talk and conversations and whatnot you have to help to develop a personal relationship. So inbound, like I said, is people messaging you, whereas outbound is you messaging people. So that essentially means that instead of you just being reliant on 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 people messaging you a day or a week or a month, you are taking matters into your own hands to start conversations and eventually nurture people, slowly push them down that funnel where they get closer and closer and closer to buying. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 2, qualify. By the way, just real quick, I strongly suggest you watch this back because there's so much stuff in here. This is the same exact things we teach to our setters, the same exact things we look for our management clients. This is really good stuff. Go and watch it back. I'm talking a lot about things you don't know. I'm out of touch with the world. So there's a bit of like a misalignment. Go and watch it back. Number 2, qualify. By the way, watch it back when you finish the whole thing. Don't watch it back now. Don't kill my retention. Number 2 is qualification. You essentially want to make sure that the prospect or the lead you were talking to has enough money to buy whatever it is you're selling. And I should have stated this earlier, but if you are a fitness coach and your program is $5,000, yes, people will pay $5,000 because they buy for the outcome. They don't buy for the actual program. They buy for the desired reality they're going to get. Think about it. But let's say it's $5,000. Like I said, you're going to get 5%, so you'll get paid $250 on that sale, for example, assuming they PIF or pay in full. If they do installments, like one now, one in a month, one in another month, one in another month, or 2 installments, then it'll be split up into that. Anyway, $5,000, for example, you get $250 if they buy. You need to make sure they have money, because if you're talking to people that have no money now and will have no money ever, no offense, but if they're from a third world country, that might not be someone worth having a long-term conversation with. Whereas if it's someone who may have money in the future, for example, if they work in New York at TEDx or FedEx, sorry, if they work in New York at FedEx, that is someone that may have money. You are more incentivized to have a conversation with them. Whereas if it's someone like an investment banker who has reached out to you now, or someone who's just like a lawyer or has a big position, you essentially want to see what it is they do to see if they have money, right? Like we said. So the top 5 situations that you're kind of going to see, I'm going to refer through all of them. I'm also going to show you these random WhatsApp or Discord messages. These are role plays from our communities, or from our community where we do one-on-one coaching and whatnot. I have coaches in my group. I have 5 actually, and we kind of just run through all of that. So these are some role play snippets you can see. But let's say this. So we kind of start with this, like, hey, appreciate the follow. Are you already doing X, or are you looking to get started? Whatever scenario, realistically, we can go down to this first outcome. Yeah, actually, I already got a little shop already. Just messing around with it. Yo, that's sick. You're running it full-time or balancing with work at the moment? Balancing with work at the moment. Cool. There's our outcome. Are you working at the moment, or are you doing it full-time? Obviously, you switch it up. You switch it up on the tonality. You want to sound casual. You want to sound chill. You want to sound like the offer owner. or the person you are essentially mimicking, like we talked about. But this represents the same thing. Like I said, don't just copy and paste it. Don't be a bum. Don't copy and paste the whole thing. Build your own framework, depending on your offer, depending on the material you study. Damn, I'm giving you so much sauce. But yeah, oh fire, are you working at the moment or doing it full time? And that kind of tells you if they're doing it full time, then they may not have money unless it's working. And if they are working at the moment, then maybe they haven't fully committed because they're not making enough. But if they are working at full time, then they probably have money to invest. So balancing it with work, what are you doing for work? And the other scenario is they're doing it they're working full time, they're probably qualified. So obviously the scenario here is they're balancing it with work. And then you can say, well, what are you doing for work? And they'll tell you, like, oh, I'm doing engineering. Or they say they're doing it full time. And now you know they're qualified. Another thing, situation 2, working. Sick, bro. What are you doing for work? Yeah, there's plenty of money to be made. Haha. Would you be looking at doing TikTok shop full time or are you working? Once again, another variation, but it works quite well. And it also sounds simple, and there isn't a bunch of sales resistance, which means like a spike of lack of trust because you feel like you're being sold to. You can avoid it by sounding chill and making it feel like a simple, chill conversation. Probably whilst I'm working right now, but in the future, if it takes off, I could definitely see myself doing it full time. What do you do for work? Once again, sick, bro. What are you doing for work? Number 3 is they say they're looking to start X or whatever niche or whatever business it is. Right? Nice, man. So what got you interested in starting? We're doing this purely to build reports so you can qualify after. Now, what do I mean by report? If I refer to Google, a close and harmonious relationship in which the people or groups concerned understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. If I have a good conversation with you, you are more likely to open up to me because I had good rapport. Do you get what I mean? Cool. Just peeping into it, bro. So you can kind of see, looking to get started. Just peeping into it, bro. Sick, man. What got you interested in starting? I want to make money online. Awesome, man. There's teenagers I see on my For You page. Printing money with trading. It's booming, haha. I don't curse, by the way. Would you be looking at trading full-time or balancing with work? Down the line, yeah, but for now, I'm going to do it alongside work. You're looking to do X full-time or balance it with work? Once again, X is just kind of the business they're in. Balance it with work. Oh, fire, what do you do for work? Once again, pretty typical. And if they're not working, you want to hard qualify and essentially figure out if they do have money. Because if they don't have money, you don't want to spend time on that conversation. If there's someone, like I said, from a third world country, and the program is obviously very clearly thousands and thousands of dollars. Let's even say 5,000, for example, like we used earlier. If you don't think they'll have $500 or $5,000 to invest ever, maybe not someone we're talking to, or in the next 6 months or in a year. If there's someone who can go and work and save that money, then potentially. But if they're not working, hard qualify them. So figure out, oh, okay, well, like how are you funding this right now, or something like that. You want to do it in a subtle way. Maybe I didn't give you the best example, but you can kind of see what I mean. Be creative. Don't fully rely on me. This is a framework. You build off of the framework. Okay? Cool. Number 4, college. So acknowledge, ask what they're studying to build report further or further report. Once again, I already explained what report was, but just acknowledge them. Be like, yo, that's fire. Whatever, right? You doing anything else at the moment to make money or just running X full time? Yes. What are you doing for work? No, not working. Okay, they're disqualified. Once again, if they are someone who may potentially be able to buy in the future, even if they're not, send a free resource, be a good person, but see these as a conversation to see if you actually can help. And if you can help right now, because they can't afford it, put them in the best position so they can go and do it on their own. And then if it does work out, beautiful. You've actually helped someone. If it doesn't work out, they'll come to you when it doesn't work out for more help and advice. And even if it does work out, whenever they have complications, they'll want to come to you. So it just works really well. Just leave things on a good note. And if they're not working, and obviously they are in studies, and they probably don't have money, once again, hard qualify, see if they do have money. So you can kind of vet them as you go. Full-time, if lead says they're full-time, assume he's qualified and move on. So this is kind of the initial qualification / vetting process, at least financially. Number 3, current situation with the niche. So let's talk a little about this. Let's talk about the 2 absolutes. We have time frame and we have progress. So not started X yet or started X. Let's say they haven't started yet. How long have they been looking into it? So how long have you been peeping into it? For a couple of weeks now, to be honest. Been watching your YouTube videos ever since they came up on my recommended. 2 scenarios, short period of time or long period of time. Long time means more than 2 months. This isn't corporate sales where sales process are 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. the whole info industry or e-learning, info as an information selling, info doesn't have very, very long sales processes or sales time spans. So long period of time, 2 months and above, short period of time is less. So short period of time, current educational info. TS, what are you using to learn so far, G? Mostly YouTube and Insta Reels, bro. Okay, progression. What have you been using to learn about trading? Mainly been using baby pips. Fairs man, how you've been finding using that to learn? Once again, you can kind of see they applied tonality to a specific degree in this conversation to make it attractive for a younger ICP. So kind of just brain rotting it down because the people that they were using in this example to like sell to, the average audience, would have probably been younger. Whereas if it was a more corporate, more formal, maybe they were like 40 years old, as in the offer owner was 40 years old, then you would have to act and speak more formally to attract, not sound like an idiot in the conversations. But bad, how come? Good, how come you haven't started X yet? So the goal is to find out what's wrong early, so we have all the information possible, and then problem identified. So let's go through this again. If they say they've been doing it for a short period of time, how have you been learning? Like, what have you been using for education? You can ask this in your own way. You do kind of want to like make it seem subtle and chill though. Realize you're just having a genuinely good conversation. Progress. How have you been finding using it? That's a good way to do it. You can obviously switch it up. If bad, how come? And if good, how come you haven't started X yet? Right? So like, how come you haven't begun e-commerce is a good example. If we have an e-commerce coach and it's been going bad because they've been using the YouTube videos alone, how come it's been going bad? And then we can kind of know that, and then we're going to go on further from there. But if they haven't started yet, then why? That's what we want to find out. And then if they say a long period of time, like we said over 2 months, we start off with the challenge. So how come you haven't started yet? And then they might tell you, like for example here, oh, the videos aren't the best. I'm still confused on how to do it. Now we know the problem. So identifying the problem is all we're basically trying to do in this situation, as you can see. Moving on, how long have they been doing X? So how long have you been trading? I've been trading for about 2 years now. Progress. Also, I know I'm skipping words. It's easier. Like I said, it's like 6:30 in the morning. Don't judge me. Progress. What about you? How long you been running TikTok Shop? 2 months, I guess. Nice. How's it been going so far? Bad or good? Also, sometimes you'll see grammatical errors. Once again, that kind of attracts and applies to the ICP. So if this is a younger audience, also ICP means ideal customer profile. So in this scenario, obviously, what about you? How long have you been running TikTok Shop? Let's assume this guy's 20. He makes his money with TikTok Shop. He runs a coaching offer. He will attract people that are younger through his YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. He will naturally have to talk like he's younger because that will give them more trust. They won't question if it's actually him. And in doing so, they'll open up more. They'll want to tell him their problems. Whereas if you sound super corporate or formal or AI-esque, then nobody's going to open up. Nice. How's it been going so far? If they say bad, how come? You find the problem. Problems identified. And if good, acknowledges, goes straight into goals. So what do you do when a prospect is seeing good results or good progress? Leverage the power of time. Don't challenge them, but acknowledge and move on to goals where pain is. When you find pain, you can rip. We go straight into goals because of the likelihood they are still very far away from their end goal. If they were seeing good progress, they'd already achieved their end goal, then they wouldn't have been looking for help or even conversing with you. We can help them with the issue of not moving fast enough. So their biggest bottleneck here, or their biggest pain or problem, is going to be speed. We can help them essentially speed it up, even if they are seeing good progress. Keep that in mind. I'd even watch that back if I were you. So how long have they been doing X? We kind of went through that process. Now let's talk about goals and pain. Look at this sauce. We have so much more for you. You should be so excited. Let's talk about goals and pain. Long-term goals. Curious though, what's your long-term goal with TTS? Want to see where you're trying to take this. Once again, younger ICP, obviously more corporate offers. Older offers might sound different, but this is a lot of younger offers you see in the info space. If they say monetary, remember money is never the end goal. It's just a vehicle to get you there. And tangible outcome. Tangible outcome is what the goal is, what the money will do for them, core motivation behind making that money. And examples include retiring their parents, traveling to different countries, and quitting their jobs. Financial freedom. All the previous points are examples of financial freedom when a prospect says that their long-term goal or tangible outcome is financial freedom. Go deeper to what that kind of looks like. FF, because I've already said the word way too many times, is broad and every person's is different. Keep that in mind. So monetary, tangible outcome. Let's go with this, right? What would that money do for you? 10 G's, I'd say. Bet everyone that comes into this space Oki wants to make or hit 10K months or like $10,000 per month. That's just kind of the lingo of this offer, as you can see, but it's definitely doable, bro. What would that 10K per month do for you? It would be sick, bro. I could quit my job and travel. So that's like a tangible outcome they obviously have. Why is that important to you specifically? So it's kind of like this loop, as you can see. Why is that important to you specifically? I want to provide for my parents, bro, not to burden on them. I want to be the opposite of a burden. I get you. I totally, obviously, you wouldn't just say I get you because you sound like Bobby. You actually want to acknowledge them. What do you think makes you feel that need to take care and provide for them? I just feel like you've done the same for me. They've done the same for me for so long. As a man, I need to return it. I can at least retire them. And then even deeper pain. Also the same as tangible outcome, as you can see. But even deeper pain, what's stopping them? Already started X or they haven't started. So let's say they already started. What do you feel like is the main thing holding you back with whatever you're in from reaching whatever your goal is? And if they haven't started yet, what do you feel like is the main thing holding you back from starting X and reaching Y goal? Relate it to the niche. If you don't relate the question of what's holding them back to the niche, they'll give you an external reason, like not enough time, not enough money. We want them to tell us why they're struggling internally in the niche. So if it's knowledge or fear or confidence or conviction, whatever it might be. And then we go down. We can see this beautiful conversation with Charbel and Ilya, two guys in the coaching company. Yeah, I get you, man. What do you feel like's been the main thing holding you back with trading from making that happen, G? Knowledge and don't know where to start. So you can kind of see instead of him just saying, what do you think is holding you back from doing Y goal? What do you think is holding you back from starting X and reaching Y goal? It is more so what do you feel like is the main thing holding you back with trading from making that happen? So he kind of related it more so to the niche, as you can see, to get the more specific thing. So he kind of said it was like a knowledge issue. And you kind of put him down in that rabbit hole. Number 5, let's talk about urgency. And I know this might be a little bit boring, it might be a little bit tiring, but this is what you actually need to learn because you got to realize a lot of the stuff you're learning is psychological as well. You're learning psychology. So, what are your long term goals? And then they kind of just tell you what their actual goals are, and then you're digging even further. Pain digging. This is sales and it's also psychology because you're pre framing answers and you're getting a specific answer you're looking for by asking it in a specific way. So, look at it from a third eye. Read in between the lines and ask, why are we asking what we're asking? Why not ask something else? Because this is the framework that works best for you, or for us, for the agency, for also the coaching company. But why does it work best? I'm not going to tell you every single damn reason, but I suggest you go through it. So, number 5, creating urgency plus pitch. What we want to do first is create urgency or a soon demand, if you will, like making it a priority for them. So, how much of a priority is it for you right now to fix X and get to Y goal? So for example, you can kind of see here, is getting confident enough to move on to paper trading and then go full time a priority for you right now, bro? Yeah, definitely, bro. If it's not a priority, then we kind of just say outcome. Like we'll do a friendly acknowledgement. We don't want to increase the sales resistance and stress them out. We'll just be like, how come, bro? Oh, damn, that's crazy. Like, I actually didn't expect to hear that. How come? Or whatever it is. You want to make it more catered to the conversation. Find out what's more of a priority. And then double down until he admits or she. So you kind of just like get the answer and the clarity you need. And if it is a priority, go to the pitch, which is essentially when you propose the sales call. Or you obviously wouldn't position it as a sales call. You might just say like, call with my head of acquisition, or sorry, my head of fulfillment, or whatever it might be. But we kind of see depending on the situation. So hopping on a call to fix X issue to get to Y goal. Tell you what, I got a couple of spots this week. Let's hop on a quick call and I'll show you exactly how to help you with your journey. You down? So this works well if the offer owner or the coach is actually taking the sales calls. And if not, you can be like, my head coach actually has a couple of spots open. Let's get you on a quick call where we can show you exactly how we can help you with your journey. You down? Question mark or whatever. And then you obviously position it for them. Post booking report. Now, post booking report is a pretty simple concept. And the reason we do it, first of all, it is essentially prolonging the conversation after they agree to hopping on the call, assuming they say yes. So you can strengthen the relationship and also potentially dig further pain. And in doing so, I wish I had the numbers on standby. We don't have the data on that right now. It is increasing the probability of them showing up to the call. It is increasing the probability of you digging out more pain on why they need help or why they want to join, which you can then use and give to the closer and pre-call notes, which you should give them a summary of like what to expect on the call and whatnot, which then gives him a higher probability of closing. So we have a higher chance of them showing up. We have more data and more reasoning on why they need help because their sales resistance dropped because they booked in a call. Now they're more open, they're more vulnerable, they're actually going to tell you the truth. And yeah, all around, it just makes more sense. They're more likely to show up to the call because they're not going to forget, and they're more likely to give you more pain because resistance is down, which you can then use on the actual sales call. So post-booking report is something you should definitely do. And what you can kind of do for that, just to give you a quick example, is be like, oh, by the way, you said you're based here. How is it? Or like, how do you find living life out there? I'm actually thinking of moving out. Or my boy actually is thinking of moving out there. Or whatever you think. And then you can kind of like play it differently. A location one is quite easy, but it's something that's kind of different to the situation. And you just prolong the period of conversation for a bit. It only has to be like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. It shouldn't be too long, but it is quite helpful. And you can also do it like throughout the days before their call. And then let's also go into fitness. We'll do the quick introduction. I'm going to speed run through this one and be honest for you guys. But it's the same thing, as you can tell. Hey, name, appreciate the follow. Hey, name, just saw you comment on my post. Saw you engaging with my story. Appreciate it. Reaching out to a couple followers today and was wondering how your fitness journey is going at the moment. This one's a little more direct. With fitness, from what we've noticed, this just doesn't work as well. So you're already doing extra, looking to start. It just doesn't work as well. This has a better response rate, meaning that people respond, more people essentially respond on average of like 10 messages, and it just gives us more potential conversations, which potentially lead into more bookings. Inbound, hey name, appreciate you reaching out. Whereabouts you based, my man? That's more like UK slang, but if it's a US offer, you'd be like, where are you based, bro? Like, where are you based? Where do you live? Where are you living right now? Whatever it is, right? But it kind of differs. It kind of depends on the tonality. A lot of our fitness clients are more so UK oriented, so we would do more of this. And then if they kind of give us a short answer, if a lead responds with a short answer, like you can see here, it'd feel weird to dig deeper. So you'd ask for specifics before digging deeper to build rapport, have a conversation, reduce the sales resistance so you can actually talk on a proper level. Only then move into inbound layer 1 stuff. Until then, don't do it. Nice, man. What weight are you trying to get down to? That's kind of layer 1. If lead seems DQ, qualify, and then move into layer 1. What do you do for work, by the way? Just asking because a lot of people underestimate how important or how big an impact their job can have on their fitness into layer 1, which we'll talk about in a moment. But you can kind of re-switch this so it sounds better or more different, or whatever you guys prefer over time. But this is like a good general foundation if you're on a fitness offer. And then if lead responds with a long answer, go straight into inbound script layer 1, which we'll also talk about. Whereas for inbound, if they seem disqualified, and they essentially, like, they probably don't have money, qualify and then move into layer 1. What do you do for work, by the way? Just asking because ... It's really easy to build rapport off of someone's job and location, as you could tell, because you can just like pull things off of GPT, but like, give me a cool fact about this place or the job, and then you can kind of just pull that out, right? Or you can be like, yo, that's sick. My cousin does that. But you don't really want to lie. You want it to sound genuine. And seems qualified, cool. You go into layer 1. I kind of speed around through that. If you need to watch that back, do it after this recording so you don't mess up my retention once again. But you'll kind of see the gist of what I mean. I'm moving through it rather quick. Layer 1 of pain. Goals. So goal, what fitness goals are you currently working towards? I feel you, bro, can definitely be hard to find the time to consistently train. Are you working towards any specific goals at the moment? Or be like, what specific goals are you working towards at the moment? Like, either way, it works. But what kind of prones more of a reply? Whereas if you say, are you working towards any goal? And they say no, then, then you're just like, damn, how come, bro? It kind of puts you in a tight spot. These are like open-ended enough where it can open up the probability of conversation, as you can tell. And as you can also tell, you kind of say it in a chill, casual way. So they just think like, yeah, I'm just talking to my boy. You want it to sound like you're talking to your boy, but they still have that level of respect for you, as you can see. So yeah, I'm trying to cut. Short answer, but it works. Okay, specific goal. Awesome, man. How much weight you trying to gain or lose at the moment? Where are you right now compared to where you want to be? If you have no specific goal, you have no specific solution. So like, cool, man, did you have a specific weight you're trying to get to? Obviously, you can switch this up as you go. Yes, sir, trying to get to 150. Okay, cool. So we got like more deep digging on it, if you will. We kind of know where they're going now. Now we can go into motivation behind their goal, which is layer 2. So why is reaching X goal specifically important to you? By the way, like I said, it's all framework. You can switch it up as you go. You can split test as you go. But this is all a general foundation and a specific tonality that we tend to use more. You might change it according to you. Just to justify and clarify one more time. Why is reaching X goal specifically important to you? Mainly wanted to get fit because I was hella unconfident in myself. What makes losing that weight important to you? To be honest, sir, my belly is big. I want to lose the weight, so my crush will like me back. I feel that if I lose that belly, my crush will maybe propose to me. Haha, big dreams, but I don't know. Okay, so this was a less serious roleplay, as you can tell. Even then, it's fine. You can kind of get the gist of it. Double down until you get their core motivation or reimagining their future self. So, what's holding them back? Current situation ish. Ish. Put emphasis on that. What's holding you back with your fitness right now from X goal? Remember, related to the niche so they don't give you an external reason, as we talked about earlier. What do you think with fitness is holding you back from building muscle and getting confidence right now? I feel like I'm struggling with the diet and knowing the right routine to do. If you said, "What do you think is holding you back?" They might have said, "Oh yeah, I'm busy with school." Then you have you like they're lying to you, right? So they're not giving you the actual reasoning, which is why you'd want to relate it back. Whereas if you didn't relate it back and they said, "Oh, school," and you're like, "Oh, well, what about within fitness?" Then you sound like an idiot, or you're trying to tell them that that's not true and they can balance fitness, and then you're just fighting back and forth. And you've also just prolonged the entire process of setting where it could have been one good question. So figure out their training right now and how long has this been an issue for, based on the answer. Moving on, urgency. How much of a priority is it for you to fix X and get to Y goal? So, how big of a priority is fixing your diet and exercises technique in order to gain muscle for you right now? It's my main priority at the moment. And if it is, go to pitch, because now you have this open ended window to pitch a call. And if it's not a priority, friendly acknowledgement. How come? Find out what's more of a priority, double down until he admits, or she, and then pitch. And you can kind of get the gist of that. And the pitch, hopping on a call to fix X issue to get to Y goal. Love to hear that. Got a couple slots open in the next few days. Let's hop on a call. I'll run you through how I can help fix your diet and gain muscle a lot quicker. How's that sound? Same into post booking report, which can be location, job, whatever you want it to be. Make it seem chill. Don't sound salesy. Moving on, once again, essential skills. Report building. This gives you trust. And I honestly should have talked about this earlier, but who cares? It's my video. I do it in my order. So specifics, humor, and relatability. Good report. Let's start with this. Were you based, by the way, from India, sir? That's sick. I've always wanted to visit India. So you're kind of mirroring. Palak paneer is so good. I hope I get to try it made by locals one day. Genuine conversational and genuine curiosity. And what do you do for work out there? Refers to smooth transition, and then also specifics about country, which obviously just shows that you're interested. Pretend you're speaking to someone you quite like. You probably like them because when you first met them, they asked you a bunch of questions about yourself, or they do ask you generally a bunch of questions about yourself. That's why you like them. We like people that care about us or make us feel like they care about us. So it's okay. It's been okay, lol. To be fair, I don't do a lot at the firm, so I just sit there and take trades on the side. Now I get you totally. 1 second, I was watching up, and then other I'd be trading the London section on my break. Lamau, how have you been trading with process? How have you been seeing any progress or trading? Once again, it's like 7 a.m. I'm tweaking. So we got humor. We got sounds natural and lighthearted. We have relating back to the niche, so trading, and then we have specifics about trading. So it kind of just shows them you know what you're talking about. And then here we have another one. Yeah, man, I get that. I also hated my boss when I worked at Tesco's. My boys work at Tesco. Relating to pain. Specifics is Tesco. But for real, bro, the 9 to 5 life thing. Cutting it these days, building something big is definitely the right priority to have. Humorous language. Oh, I actually didn't mean to drag that. But just talking on a boy to boy level. More likely for them to open up as well. Which is also just pretty good psychology. If you talk on a super chill level, they're more likely to open up. Bad report. Feels like an interview. Are you balancing what work or studying at the moment? And they give you a dry answer and then you're just kind of cooked. High key same, didn't need college for what I do now. No specifics, so you're not like saying, yo, I'm opening up, you should open up too. Because if I'm like, yo, by the way, I don't know how I'm gonna go to uni this week, you're gonna be like, yo, what do you study? Right? Right. Whereas if I just said, oh man, like I don't know how I'm gonna like do what I need to do, you're gonna be like, what do you mean? It's just gonna sound stupid. So be specific. Like, I don't what I do now. It doesn't work that well. What are you doing for work? You just sound super vague and you could have opened up. And then no depth to the convo as well, which just leaves it super surface level. Whereas if you did open up and you had a deeper conversation, they would have opened up too, and boom, you have a bunch of extra leverage for the call that you could essentially utilize for the call, get to know the lead better, and maximize the chances of closing because they would trust you more, aka the coach, and they would have a better call with the closer. Excuse me. So How long have you been trading for? Well, bartending, half a year or more. Not sure, to be honest, Solomon. How's the trading been going for you? Could be AI. Like, you just sound robotic. Like, lock in, bro. Once again, specifics, humor, relatability. Show them that you're listening and you care about them. Now, maximizing show up rate. Woohoo! We're getting near the end of this part. And now we're going to talk about finding and landing an offer. So hold on, because this is juicy. Report building. Oh, we just went through that. I'm tweaking. Post booking report and follow up schedule. Two important things. The show up rate is essentially the amount of people that turn up or show up to the call. For example, if you book in 10 people and only 7 show up, you have a 70% show rate. You have lost 3 potential leads, 3 potential sales. And if you look at that from a mathematical perspective, $5,000 average program, $15,000, you just lost $750 by being an idiot, by not doing what I'm about to show you. Post booking report, keeps the convo going after booking. You said you're based here. How's life over there? Because when you do this, you lengthen the conversation, and like we just talked about, it kind of makes sure that they do not forget about the meeting you have. And then follow up schedule 24 hours before. There's 3 to this. Hey, name, just confirming that our call is for tomorrow, or is tomorrow at X time. Have you watched the quick intro video yet? What you can even say is, how'd you find that video, by the way? And if they haven't watched it, they're going to go and watch that real quick. And all of a sudden, you just got them to watch it. It works quite well. They naturally assume that they should have watched it, and they realize they're behind. They'll go make up for it. 2 to 8 hours before. Hey, name, excited, chatting a bit. You all good to go in time for call. So like in an hour or whatever it is, in 2 hours. Actually, that in an hour doesn't make sense, but in 2 hours, in 4 hours, in 6 hours, in 8 hours. And they say yes, and then you obviously send them the meeting. And obviously, if they don't remember, just make sure to double follow up or whatnot. But now, we went through all of this, and I think I lost about 2 years of my life in doing so. But now let's talk about how to find and land an offer. I made a specific video on this as well. This is gas. Well, I'm telling you, I think combined, we're processing like a couple million per month with our agency, with our clients combined, and we're only growing. We're only growing. And in doing so, we hire, place, train, manage, and retain setters. Place, train, manage, and retain is literally like our thing. That's our motto. So, not actually our motto, but that's like our thing. So, we are good at this, and we know exactly what we're looking for. If you just listen up, I'm going to literally tell you what it is I look for specifically when I get my managers to hire, because I don't do the hiring anymore. I get my managers to, and they are looking for these things. How to find an offer. There's 2 ways: outreach and network. Outreach is like short-term-ish. Outreach also helps you create a larger and better network. This is kind of trenches, but you need to do it. You need to be in the trenches initially. I'm actually going to move my pretty face down here. Directly DM for roles and opportunities, and much more proactive and in your control. And the network, long-term, better opportunities, higher quality offers, and scaling is easier. Wow. Yeah, there you go. Outreach and network. Outreach is actually pretty good initially, and network, obviously, you develop over time. Don't expect that straight away. Your societal perceived value is quite low at the beginning when you start off as a setter. You can obviously pivot and transition into bigger things too, but you need to essentially build and grow that. And then who should you outreach to? So there's the 4 horsemen I'm going to talk about real quick. We have Teddy as an example, which is one of my students. He obviously does management now, like sales management, setting management. He manages appointment setters and makes sure they're performing. In this interview over here, he was at about $20,000 per month. He's basically double that, give or take, right now in November 2025. So shout out to him. He's a sales manager. He's someone that you could probably reach out to, or someone like that. Sales managers, guys that run sales management, obviously infrastructures, yeah, sure, but more so sales management. Here we have a closer who's essentially the one closing the deals on the offer. So we have Mal here, who is a high ticket closer, and he essentially closes the people that booked in a call via the appointment setter. That's someone to reach out to. As you can imagine, they're pretty connected. They're on offers already, and they're always going to need setters on their teams. They also have no emotional bias. So if you essentially have reached out to a setter, they're going to be greedy and selfish probably, and they're not going to put you on. Whereas with a closer, they will need it because it will directly benefit them. And if they have you in their network, whenever they need a setter, they'll reach out to you because you have developed the relationship through reaching out. Sales manager is obviously pretty helpful. Or a growth operator like Hashim, who runs the entire offer for the creator or the coach. So the person on the back end essentially running the coaching company. So you can kind of see here, launching and scaling 6 and 7 figure education companies, or like growth operator, that type of thing. You'll probably see in their bio, and then coaches and creators. Most authority within an offer as it's their offer or product. So when you reach out to a guy like this, it is good, but don't expect a crazy response rate. And I'll talk about that in a moment. But sometimes they already have a setter, they already have a larger following, and outreach is likely to get lost because they get spammed. So you do need to obviously do mass follow-ups. So sales managers, closers, growth operators, and then coaches and creators is quite good too. Those are like the main four I think would genuinely be best on who you should message from your own personal Instagram, by the way. And in regards to that, we talked about how to find and land an offer, or how to find an offer, who to actually outreach to, types of people. And you can, by the way, go through their following. Go through their, like, maybe not mutuals right now, but go through their following, their followers. People follow people that are in their industry. You'll notice that with this industry and the info space. Go through their following and you'll find a lot of people that kind of do what they're doing, and then it'll make your life a lot easier. But now, ways to outreach, we got email, Instagram, Twitter. But let's start off with Instagram. Let's go straight through the middle like a bad boy. Let's go through DMs first. So you could DM someone like, yo, that gym looks fire, bro. Whereabouts is this? Pros, it's efficient. You can copy and paste, and it's great for beginners. Cons, it's super generalized. It gets lost amongst hundreds of outreach, and you'll kind of just lose it. Or you can be like, yo, I'm a setter if you're looking for a setter. It doesn't really work that well. I don't think DMs is that good. It's just a way. It's just a way. Loom is essentially sending them an in-depth breakdown of you and kind of who you are and whatnot. Drop some value, explain yourself, that type of thing. And yeah, make sure you obviously have a strong title for it and whatnot. Or video, which I actually do think is arguably the best. You show a video like this. This is one of my students. He started with setting, got to like 7-8K per month. Now he does something called growth operation and has recently cracked 5 figures per month. Big shout out to Sebastian Stone. But personalized video, engaging, and social proof. If you send this, something like this, to more specific guys. Actually, let me give you the specifics. We talked about the 4 horsemen. Me personally, what I would do is I'd reach out to sales managers, closers, and growth operators because these people are connected. I wouldn't reach out to coaches or creators because you're going to reach out to too many people. And like you're not going to have a really good response rate. With these guys, I would reach out to them, but I would create a custom Loom video for each of them, which is going to take you time, but it's probably the best way to do it. Or if you are smart, like Seb was, he created a general one that felt customized. I'm not going to share it with you because you don't get everything, but this is quite good. This is quite good. So I'd create a personalized one that seems quite general if you want to, make it engaging, social proof, and then just send it to these boys over here. I wouldn't really send it to the coaches as much. Obviously, go through the following to find it. Twitter, you can kind of just search up appointment setters and you'll have people who look up for it. It used to be good. Right now, it's not as good as it used to be. I'd say Instagram's probably the best way to do it, and also network. Email, you can kind of do the same thing as well. And then evaluating an offer. How do you actually determine if an offer is good? So something we had to fix because there was a little mistake was getting a reply. So if you saw a switch, you didn't see it. But let's say you don't get a reply. You want to go through the follow-up structure. So quick tip. Typical amount of follow-ups for a prospect to reply is like 5 or 7. Most setters quit at around 2. Don't be most setters. Let's say day 1, you send the initial message. Day 3, you send a follow-up with name. Day 5, you send like, hey, X, just seeing if you managed to check this out. Day 7, resend original message or Loom. Still no reply. Make sure your account is basically optimized. So your profile is the first point of contact, not the message. They're going to look at their account and then they're going to look at the message. Mystery equals uncertainty. It is the online space. It is sketchy. People don't fully trust each other. You're asking for a position where you can make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars per month. Don't look like a bum. Nobody's hiring a bum for a job like that. First barrier of sales resistance you need to break. So they're not going to trust you right off the bat. Make sure your account looks good. So professional profile picture. This is one of our students, Caetano. He's making like 3 to 5K per month right now. Trusty following. So like 814 following right now. Or sorry, trusty followers, I should say more so. It just looks good. Line of work, obviously high ticket sales, high ticket setting. Testimonials, which is quite good. And lifestyle posts. So you can actually see he's posting his wins as well here. You don't need to do that per se, but you can kind of just see this account looks clean. This looks chopped. I'm sorry. to this individual, but no profile picture, no bio, no followers, no posts. This isn't something or someone you are going to trust as much as someone like this, at least. No matter how valuable your outreach is, it won't be seen without a good profile picture. So optimize your profile. And then if they do say yes and they do reply and they're open, book them in for an interview. You want to essentially be interviewed by them. Your goal is to get them on a call. Once again, speed to lead is a big thing. Once you get them booked in for a call, and you obviously don't need a calendar like this, you can just agree on a time, send them an invite, or they send you an invite. Figure out how to do that if you don't know how to do that. Because if you don't know how to set up a Google Meet free invite or a Zoom invite, it's not looking good, bruv. But how do I actually evaluate an offer? Revenue per month. How big is the team? Are there any other appointment setters on the team? Do they post regular content? Who's their target audience or their ICP? Are you being paid fairly, like 5% commission, maybe a base pay? If it's one of our offers, one of our clients, they're paying a base pay. And what happened to the previous setter? So a few things I want to talk about. Revenue per month, or more so cash collected, because some people will say revenue, but what you care about is cash collected. If the offer does $20,000 and you're the only setter, do the math. You get 5%. That's $1,000. If the team is quite big, is it too big? Because if there's a bunch of setters, as in are there other appointment setters on the team, it will dilute it. So more setters equals more commission split. If there's two setters on an offer doing $20,000, that's first of all $1,000 in setting commission, and you're splitting it to 500 each. For example, are they posting content regularly, like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok? Are they running ads, for example? Less content equals less lead flow. Who's their target audience? Just a good question to ask. It shows that you're educated. Are you being paid fairly? Make sure you're getting like 5% commissions at a minimum. Maybe not base pay. That's okay. Maybe it is because you're new or whatever, but over time you should obviously get that. And what happened to the previous setter? So a good offer, for example, is going to be 5% commissions plus 300 base pay. Obviously, even 1,000 base pay makes it good. The program price is 5,000, so you get 5%, which is $250 personal profit. Revenue $60,000 per month, and let's say support and feedback. This is a bonus. Not every offer will have this, like our ones, but weekly coaching calls to help you improve and get better. Competition? Nope, you're the only setter, and client success students are getting results. So the actual fulfillment as the program is good. You vetted them, you know that offer is actually good. The competition, there is none. You're the only setter, meaning 5% on 60K is 3K. Oops, 3 plus 300 base. Cool, you're getting 3.3K. Whereas if it was making 6,000, you're only making $300. So onboarding for that kind of looks like congratulations. You'll do an onboarding call. They'll onboard you onto everything. Verification code to sign in, and then set up KPIs, which is like key performance indicators. So maybe have 50 conversations a day, maybe book in 3 calls a day, whatever it is. Going above and beyond in the first week, and then platforms for setting, which might be Go High Level, ManyChat, or Instagram. Typically, you'll see mostly Instagram. ManyChat is pretty much a meta-approved software that a lot of people use as well to organize DMs. This is okay to use, or GHL. GHL is okay as well. I prefer Instagram. ManyChat's not bad either. It's actually quite good. Those are the platforms you could expect. That's the onboarding you can also expect. If you need to, go back and pause it. A bad offer, though, is low commissions at 3%. Program price is like $1,000. Low revenue, meaning the offer is only doing like $4,000 per month, for example. Support, the culture is kind of toxic and high for competition. So there's like 10 other setters competing. So if we actually do the math on this, let me draw a little bit. If the commissions are 3%, the program price is $1,000, 1K. First of all, 3%. Like, bro, what are you getting? $30 per sale? It's not worth your time. It's not worth your time because you're actually going to be having good conversations with these people. Low revenue, 4,000 per month, brother. You are getting, what is that, like $120? It's not worth it. Support, keep in mind this 3%. Support, toxic culture. You don't want to be on a team like that. It's like being in a toxic relationship. 10 other setters, it means that, yeah, you're $120. For example, for simple math's sake, divided by 10, you just made $12. There's a big difference. And you can also tell by the team culture and whatnot. Typically, you can even tell by the onboarding if an offer is going to be good, unless it's a newer one. But that's kind of what I got for you. If you get a reply, that's kind of the path you should go down. Ways to outreach. Let me even go through this stuff one more time to give you a quick breakdown. If you're getting a reply, if you're not getting a reply, make sure your account is optimized. Once you know it's optimized, beautiful. If you can, set up that testimonials channel. That will help you a lot. I would even throw in this line of work. like I was saying, the testimonials is quite good in the future, so I'll put an F there. Lifestyle posts make you look like a real person, which is super helpful. Have good following and a professional. Even if you use your main account, add a profile picture, add a few posts, and just throw in high ticket sales. You've just done the heavy lifting. You don't need to do much else. Just make sure your account looks competent. If your account looks like this, don't even get into this, bro. Go do like Etsy dropshipping. It's not gonna work for you. That was mean. It's 5 to 7. Alex Ramosi, who's very profound in this industry, actually says you should do like 7 to 9. I think it's a little bit overkill. Some people are going to tell you to go screw yourself once you do the follow-up thing. You'll notice that. Don't drop off after 2 messages. That's stupid. So initial point of contact, the message you sent, follow up with name. So, hey, name. Hey, just seeing if you managed to check it out, you can see that. Resend the original message or Loom and delete everything else. That's the path I suggest you go down. What I would also say is if they don't see the message, you can unsend it and resend the new one just to kind of make sure you don't look spammy. You do not want to look spammy. No one's going to work with someone who looks super spammy. You should see my emails. It is so cooked. And if yes, then be like, hey, beautiful, reply as fast as you can. Even a little, I would say, be like, perfect, don't reuse, just go to WhatsApp. And then along the conversation on WhatsApp. Conversation lag. So let me move on to my. Okay, so my laptop started to lag. I was activity rate and response rate will be higher. What you'll tend to see, at least when I was in the trenches doing outbound, was they would say yes. I would stay on Instagram, and then I just wouldn't do anything. On that path of saying, beautiful, can I grab your WhatsApp real quick so we can continue the conversation there? Then I'd be like, by the time, what time are you free? I'm around tomorrow if that's cool with you. Whatever, show eager, move very quick. The biggest thing with interviews is speed. Speed, if you show them they're an idiot and you're actually smart, you're going to do is go study YouTube videos. You study their rules or their huts, whatever it is. And you actually show that you know about the top why setting can help them make more money. You're really like big boss. Assuming this is a call with a coach, if it's a call with a growth operator, someone else might be slightly different, but just show your general competency of setting. This is kind of talked about when you are on the interview. There's some questions you can ask. Also, add in some questions to show interest. Ask if there are support structures as well. That is a super good question, I would say. Moving on, finding and landing an offer. What else do you really need to know when you're on the interview? Actually, yeah, let's start with that. When you're on the interview, dress presentable. Don't look young. Make sure your hair's good. Make sure your lighting is good. If you watch back this video, at least when my face was on it, it actually looked quite good. I didn't look like an absolute bum. And just show that you're a respectful person. I'm happy to background noise. I was going to hire a scumbag, especially us. So, Twitter, this is actually not, I know I did say like it's not, it's still pretty good. I'd keep an eye on this maybe once per week. I would add to do list or I'd create it, and I would just say do this every Monday or something like that. High activity at the beginning of the week on Twitter as well. This is just like a good way to make sure you don't miss anything. I used to check this daily, to be totally honest with you, and I did get some opportunities from that as well. This was talking about Journey. I suggest you go watch this intro, by the way, as well. There's an updated one, which is like super competent. We talk about Journey to making a lempe with growth operation last month. I really suggest you watch that and all the other interviews. I would suggest making a video like this. So, hey, my name is X, and I'm reading out writing appointment setting. To give you a quick background on me, I used to do X and Y. So he talked about working at like a sales job, whatever it was. I actually don't remember the specifics, and this is why I think it could be valuable to your team. If you're interested, please let me know. Let's hop on a call anytime. I'm available. Whatever it is, he just showed his hunger. He showed his like good background, good lighting, good background, looks smart. Even got a mic. You feel like I'm laughing right now, but 40 seconds. It's super short. I keep it sub 1 minute. It just looks smart. Personalized, it's engaging, and it's talking about what he did best. It's engaging because it's actually humorous and nice, and personalized because it seems personal, even though he actually sent it to like 30 people and got multiple opportunities from it. Loom, you can kind of be like, hey, my name is X, and kind of give them a quick in-depth breakdown of why you think setting might help them. This might not work as well for you if you're not as competent. Give a bunch of value on setting, and obviously make sure there is like a strong title as well on the like Loom video. But I would say the best way to do it is actually a video. DMs is okay. I actually wouldn't do a DM like this because this is stupid. I would be like, I've seen this a lot. Hey, name. Are you opposed to having a cracked appointment setter on your team? I think that's the most stupid way to do it. I see it way too much. I think DMs are okay. I'll let you craft your own message. I'm not going to give you all the sauce because I actually don't think DMs are that effective. If you message me with something like this, first of all, I already have a team. I'm training a new setter right now, so I'm doing my own DMs, unfortunately. But I already have a team. If you are messaging me, message with a video. Don't message with something like this. This isn't going to get you anything. Even then, I'm training in someone right now, so I will not need a setter because I would probably just hire internally from my own coaching community. But email, you can follow the same path. I would do this, and you can obviously scrape their email from YouTube and a couple other strategies. I am not going to give you all the sauce, but that is a good way to do it on an entry level. We talked about this. We talked about this. I've given you the sauce on this. I've given you like the ways to outreach. My secret method is preferred is the growth operation thing with that video and go through all the following. Now, you're probably wondering as well, how many people should I follow or how many people should I reach out to? Sorry. First of all, people you reach out to, the rot, follow them. And I would say you should realistically do 30 to 40 per day. Within your first week, just do 20. Warm up the account. Instagram can action block you and whatnot. It doesn't mean too much, but get to like 30, 40, even 50. Don't overcomplicate it. If you're asking about specific numbers like this, you're just being stupid. 30, 40, 50 a day. Just do it consistently, and it'll get you where you want to go. Get you that good offer, or get you that first offer. It may not be the best, but it will be enough to get you going, and then you can get on a better and a better and a better offer. Coaches, you can if you want. Like, let's say you are doing 30 to 40 or 50 a day. Let's say 30 to 50. You can split it up, split test, see what works best for you. If you want to do 10 growth operators, 10 closers, 10 sales managers, and 10 coaches, that's also not bad, right? You can kind of just see what I mean. I wouldn't be totally against it. I would just be strategic with it. Closers, same thing. Following, they'll usually say, hi, take a closer. And then you have managers. That works quite well. Teddy's not going to reply to your message probably, but you can try. That's the 4 horsemen. Everything else is honestly not as effective. How to find an offer, outreach, so messaging people like this, and then network, so becoming friends with them over time, doing networking or connection calls. I still do them to this day, and especially with guys like growth operators and closers, and then just becoming more valuable and obviously getting more opportunities. This could be the video that changes your life, by the way, if you wanted to. But that's how to find an offer, what to outreach. We talked about the essential skills. So report building, the show up rate, that is pretty good as well. Just making sure people actually show up. We talked about the actual setting side of things. I showed you a couple of niches as an example. And then I also gave you the example of setting rules and principles to actually make you a good setter. Setting, closer, sale, fulfill. The average, some of our case studies, which I suggest you go and watch if you want to actually get more of an insight, learn how they did it and how you could do it as well. More information is always going to be more helpful for you, to be honest. But then also, look at this guy. Oh, nice. But also, I want to give you a quick breakdown of what can happen after setting. So when you get a setting role, initially, it may not be that good. You want to essentially develop your skill set, get proof of concept, get on a setting offer that is better, or even if you get on a good one right away, it doesn't matter. But then in doing so, get really, really good at setting, where you're making a few thousand a month. Then start learning closing, or you can go into management. I think closing is a good path to go down. That is assuming you want to stay within the info space, by the way. But when you do this, you can eventually start your own coaching company as well. If you learn a skill set, you can learn, or you can run your own like management agency. I have a lot of friends that are making anywhere from like 10,000 to 100,000 per month running their own agencies right now for like running sales teams and whatnot. So for example, we got really, really good at setting. We started to offer it as a service. Now we run like a setting manager where we also place setters, place, train, manage, and retain, and then we charge for that. So that's what did it for us. If you wanted to, you can go setter, get to like 3K to 10K per month, for example, and then go to closing where you can go from like 10 to 30 per month. And then you could eventually go to management if you want to. But obviously you can just progress as you go. And I have some videos talking about this as well. Most importantly, this is kind of the full training on everything. What I do strongly suggest you do is go and watch our interviews on how we had other students get to this point. We have a bunch of them posted. But also go and follow my freaking Instagram, man. I don't have that many followers. I'm trying to grow. Go and follow my Instagram. Randomly, I'll post some videos that are really, really saucy. And I'm happy to give you some advice in the DMs as well. But randomly, I'll post videos that are super saucy. And I'll usually talk about it on my Instagram. If you give me a follow, you will always have that reminder. You can ask me any questions you want in the DMs as well. We are happy to answer them and help you get closer to your goals. Start off as a setter and obviously scale and make more money. But if you want to be that guy who makes a few $1,000s per month and doesn't go further than that, this is perfect for you. If you want to be the guy that starts with this and pivots into bigger things, that is also perfect. I have a friend who started with setting. He's now running a SaaS company and he will probably sell it for millions of dollars. Hopefully, this was a helpful video for you. This took me and my team weeks to make. And hopefully, we just provided you guys with some value. I'm so happy to have recorded this at 7 a.m. Have a good rest of your days. Peace.